Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
The Jackson County Fair Board, in conjunction with Total Media, proudly present Neil McCoy. Neil McCoy. Saturday, July 15th at the Jackson County Fair. VIP track access seats now available for only $30, which includes admission to the fair. Get tickets now at JacksonCooHfair.com or at the Total Media Studios in Jackson.
The second annual Black Diamond Music Festival is coming to the beautiful campus of Hocking College in Nelsonville, June the 9th and 10th. This year featuring Josh Turner.
Would you go with me if we roll down streets of fire?
Other acts on the Rocky stage on Friday night include Miriam Harley, Hunter Girl, and Tyler Braden. Saturday is headlined by Ashley McBride. Also featuring Chase Wright and Lindsay L. Also plenty of local favorites throughout the day on the Pepsi and Budweiser stages.
Always check the door before you lay down.
General admission tickets are $65 for one day, $120 for a two-day pass. Tickets and lodging info are available at blackdiamondmusicfestival.com. Join us for the second annual Black Diamond Music and Arts Festival, June the 9th and 10th at Hocking College in Nelsonville.
Never back.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV. Of course, Jennifer here to start off your morning with our good friend, Miriam Harley. Welcome.
Thank you.
So good to have you back. Now, the last time you were with us, it was super fun because Miriam came in, and this was even at the old building.
I know.
And we made sushi.
That was fun, yes.
And you taught us how to make sushi, which was really cool. And are you still doing that?
I am, yes, just casually for fun.
Just for fun. You're not like, the sushi chef. That's really hard to say.
Yeah, it is.
It is. So that is not why you're here today. So you have a different hat on today.
Yes, different hat.
And you are currently, school's out. So we will say you are currently now a senior.
I guess I am.
In college.
I hate that.
Our baby girl's all growing up.
I hate that so much.
Does it freak you out a little bit?
Yes. I mean, we were just talking earlier when I came in how we don't believe 2020 was almost 4 years ago. It doesn't feel like it was 4 years ago.
You're right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. It feels like it was yesterday.
Well, it's because strangely enough, it's like those years didn't exist. I feel like because nothing happened. So it was just like, those are 2 years of our lives that just gone. And I'm sorry that you had to spend your college career or whatever doing that madness, because it was stupid and insane. And hopefully we never have to go through all of that again.
Hopefully.
That's right. So hopefully we have moved on. But the cool thing is you are in school at Wooster.
Yes.
Do you love it there?
I do. I really do. I love all my professors and my friends, and I get opportunities like this, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about something really, really cool because you're doing kind of a thesis situation, and it's about something that's affected us all here locally. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself in case they don't know you?
Yeah. So, hi, my name is Miriam Harley. I am, I guess, originally from Jackson. I wasn't born here, but I moved here when I was young. I graduated from Jackson High School in 2020. I'm the class with the rock. They put a rock out in front of the high school. As like
Nuh-uh.
They did. And
that's my rock.
My aunt always says it seems like we all died in a plane crash. Because it's just a rock. And I think it says in memory of the class of 2020.
That is so weird. Shut up.
No, I'm not even joking. It's insane. Like, I really appreciate that they tried. I mean, as we were talking about, it was so weird and so out of the blue.
Because it was like the COVID situation and all of that, and you guys had to endure all of this ridiculousness, but
it's a rock.
It
has a plaque on it.
No. James, can we go?
It really says in memory of.
I think it does. Don't
Dude,
quote me.
we need to go up there. Where is this rock?
Right outside, like the main part with all the stickers on it so you can't see in.
Yeah.
Right there.
James, can we go up there and videotape that?
I don't know if it says in memory or in like remembrance or something like that, but it is a rock.
Regardless, it sounds like everyone's dead.
Yes.
Okay, super.
But we're not, obviously, because I'm here.
Hey, but you know what? I mean, I'm kind of jelly because I do not have a rock in my name.
I would rather have a graduation than a rock. Gonna be completely honest. But, okay. So, graduated in high school in 2020. I go to the College of Wooster. I study history and a minor in poli-sci. What else do I do? I'm the president of the History Honor Society, Phi Alpha Theta. It's an international thing.
Yeah.
That happened a month ago.
Cool.
So,
good for you.
Thank you. I just studied abroad in Sweden. And
What?
Yes. I spent 6 months in Europe.
That is super cool.
And now I'm here. So.
Well, very good. And you're in Jackson. So you actually did grow up here, and I think a lot of people would know your parents.
Yes, my mother she's not dead.
No,
Goodness
she's
gracious.
alive. Very
They
alive.
just live
she
in
does
Tennessee.
not have a rock.
No rock. So my mother is Megan Malone. She was the director of the Lillian Jones Museum for about 10, 12 years. I'm sure that's going to be wrong, and she's going to text me and say the right time, but whatever. I think it was like 10 years. And then my dad is Jeremy Harley.
Yes.
Not Chuck Harley. That's my grandpa.
Yes.
They have the same name, but we're south of some parallel, so he's Jeremy.
There you go.
And yeah, so my grandpa worked at the Portsmouth facility, and my dad worked there, and I kind of grew up hearing about it. So as we'll go into later, I kind of decided to do that as my thesis.
Very good. And it's going to be very interesting to hear what you found out. And, you need the public's help.
I do.
And that's kind of why you're here today.
I'm very early in my process. I couldn't really do research in Europe. I did a little bit, but not enough. So I am working to collect oral histories from people who worked, lived, or are relatives of someone who worked at the Portsmouth Gaseous Diffusion Plant. I'm using them as primary sources for my thesis, which I will be writing over the next year, to be done March of next year.
Okay.
And it'll be about the societal, economic, less so, and political impact of having such a large facility within 30 miles of different people.
Okay, and I love that. And, I did not realize that you brought in this Popular Mechanics magazine, and there's actually an article about how it came to be.
Yes.
And a little bit about it in this Popular Mechanics magazine. And I had no idea. This was in 1956 that this article was written.
Mm-hmm. So it's called When an Atom Strikes a Valley. And it's about... Yeah, I know. It's
everything in the article is super dramatic, which is really so funny. Like, we're like, what?
Well, it is 56. I mean, I just opened this and it says this man is a security risk. So we're still we're working up to the height of the Cold War in 56. But the article about Portsmouth, I was surprised at how much they are able to talk about it because it is 56.
You're right.
Yeah. Because my grandpa, I was just talking to my grandpa this morning and yesterday, and he was like, I worked there. He worked there for like 50 some years, his entire career. And he said, I never knew what was going on. I knew enough to do my job. and that was it.
Oh,
Everything
so it was
was-
need to know and you don't need to know.
Yeah. And he was
Really?
like management.
And he still didn't know
He's-
all of what was going on there.
He didn't know up until the 80s. So it was very secret, and it was, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to find this article. But, oh, here it is. But no, they talk about, like, they have even a diagram of gaseous diffusion. And that was surprising to me, that they were able to put this in a magazine that's
like for the world to read.
You can just buy it. So that was
is
always
strange.
surprising. But my grandpa told me about this, and I bought it. So
Very.
No, I have
Where'd
it.
you find it? eBay or
eBay.
something? Yeah. Okay.
it's
Very
like
cool.
$1.
Like nobody
So-
wants it other than you.
Yeah. It's wonderful about having that niche topic.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure were your professors like, you're going to do a thesis on what? Never heard of it?
Yes. So a little background. College of Wooster requires all graduates to do what we call an independent study, IS for short. And I'm calling it a thesis because that's what it is, and it is much easier to say thesis than
Yes.
to say IS, and then you'll go, what the heck's an
What's
IS?
that? Explain that,
Yeah.
and so on and so
much-
forth.
But people know what a thesis is.
Yeah.
So independent study it's a 1.5 year long process where you decide your own topic, you do all the research, you write the thing, or do some other example of your research. So I know someone
Okay.
who made what did she make? One of my friends made a podcast about the history of jazz and how that relates to different societal structures and in racism and things like that. It was a very good podcast. I highly recommend it. And then another one of my friends did an online museum where they created it's an archaeological museum, so you don't have to physically see the artifacts, and they don't have to be removed from their country of origin.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yes. So he went abroad to Morocco and scanned all of these artifacts and used the 3D scans with VR to create a virtual museum so people could like touch the artifacts without them having to be removed from Morocco.
Super cool. And it's so much safer for obviously the artifacts.
Yes. So that's kind of how Wooster does it. Like, it's very open-ended, very creative. And that's why I have the opportunity to talk to all these people and not just be stuck in some archive and just reading things. Like, I
love that.
because I'm a social historian. I want to like talk to people. I want to figure out, how did this impact you as a person, not you as a statistic.
For sure. And that's how history should be taught as far as I'm concerned, because I can remember being in, school and in history being like, I have to memorize all of these facts and then I'm going to forget them right after the test. And I don't really care because I don't understand. It was not taught why it's important or how it affected us today.
Yes.
And I think that what you're doing is super cool because that's exactly what you're doing.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So number one, so obviously you have family ties to the gaseous diffusion plant.
Yes.
And so is that kind of why you picked the topic?
Yes. I mean, I kind of grew up hearing about it at every family dinner. It was always, okay, like what you can talk about, my dad and my grandpa would talk about. And it was funny. I was remembering this.
It's kind of like Area 51.
Yeah, I grew up saying, I don't want anything to do with this facility. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just want to talk about whatever I was into at the time. It was probably horses or Barbies or something like that. I don't remember. But now I'm like, I'll do that. That's my thesis.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because it brings that family tie into it. And, it did affect you personally, whether you liked it or not at the time.
Yes. Yes.
But now you can kind of go back and be like, okay, now I understand and I can relate to what they were saying and how it did affect the family.
Yeah. And I did my first interview with my grandpa because I'm living with him. And so he can't run away from me. He's right there. He has to talk to me. So I heard some stories that were very interesting. And those were stories that, he just didn't feel the need to tell me. And I was like, why did you not tell me this story? This is super interesting.
Yeah.
And it's something that I can have. And I'm hoping to get all of these, because I'm recording them. I'm doing audio recording.
Sure.
Of all these like stories and interviews. And I'm hoping to get them put into the Portsmouth Digital Museum that they have, which is where I got all those photos.
Cool.
The site itself has a virtual museum where you can go and look at each building that was at one point on the footprint. And then at the same time, you can see, like, they did a bunch of oral histories in about 2010.
Oh,
so
okay.
you can click on, and it's a video, and then you can hear the story associated with the building, and you can see the blueprints. It's super cool. I've spent a lot of time on there. So I'm hoping to get to work with them so they can house my oral histories.
You know, that's really, really awesome. And I mean, you're doing it, so why not, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have this stuff. So what you're asking for is for people to reach out to you, right?
Yes. And so if you or anyone you know and or love, you don't have to love them to talk to me, worked at, lived near, or are related to someone who fits the first two of Portsmouth Gaseous Diffusion Plants.
Uh-huh.
It's an acronym. That's what everyone uses. I would love to.
I didn't know that.
It's just the first 4 letters of Portsmouth.
Super original.
Special. But if you fit any of those criteria, I would love to hear your story. I'm not working with the government. I would like to say that again. I'm not working with the government. I am just a person.
There's no like guys in like black ninja suits coming through the window to like get you or something if you tell something.
No, do not feel afraid to talk to me. I know my family worked there, so people may not be super comfortable talking to me, but I would love to hear as many stories as possible from as many different people who worked in many different facilities so I can tell the most complete story.
Yeah. Because
if I don't have all the data, then I'm going to do what my grandpa calls a hatchet job. And then he won't let me use any of his stories. So
we got to use grandpa's stories here. So no hatchet jobs.
No hatchet jobs. I'm trying to get the most complete picture as possible. And to do that, I need help. I can't do it all on my own because I'm just one person.
You know, and that's exactly right. And, you know, help a girl out. College is hard enough. She needs some input on, you know, what you know for the thesis. But also, I think it's part of, you know, creating and remembering the history of our area. I mean, we've all been affected by that place at some point.
Yeah. I mean, when I was pitching, because I had to go through a long process to get this approved. It's been a year and a half of a process. But when I was pitching this thesis, my advisor and my professors didn't know what the heck I was talking about. They didn't know. They had no idea what this was. They had no idea where Jackson was on a map. I had to bring out a map of Ohio and point it to them.
You mean Cincinnati?
Yeah. Cincinnati, Athens, West Virginia. So
south of 70 exists, I promise.
Yes. And I want to be able to tell the story of this area, and things like this matter because it was massive. It is massive. It's still impacting us, and I want to know how and how we can begin to live with that legacy.
Okay. Very, very cool. So could I ask you, kind of put you on the spot a little bit and ask you, you know, what are some of the things of the history of the plant, just the plant itself, not the personal stories that you could share with us? Because I don't know that a lot of people even, you know, today, like kids today, but like, no, like the younger generation probably doesn't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so I can give you the brief rundown.
Yeah, that would be great.
I call it the elevator pitch. So in 1952, the AEC, which is Atomic Energy Commission, it was a citizen-operated committee. It was no longer under the military.
Now, okay, let me back up because this is how dumb I am with history. World War II was
1930-something, depending on who you are, to 1945.
Okay, so this is after World War II.
Yes.
Everybody's still a little shook up over this situation.
We're still trying to figure out
understandably
how the
so.
heck we live with this new weapon and what it can be used for. Because we had just dropped the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out, what have we just done? And how can we use it?
Like maybe for good?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
This
guess
is-
it could be arguably it was used for good.
I'm not getting into the morals of that.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that one.
Just glad I didn't have to make that decision.
Exactly. But this is known as the Atoms for Peace era.
Okay.
Based on an Eisenhower speech where he says, this is how we're going to use the atoms for peace. This is how we're going to do this. And it's really funny. This is an aside. They were going to use atomic bombs to build ditches, to dig ditches.
No.
Yes.
Like here in America.
Yeah. They were going to just blow stuff up. They really were like, we've got this bomb. It's big. Let's use it to build ditches.
And everyone will be just fine.
Yeah, no.
You'll be fine.
It was obviously prior to any major research on the effects of radiation.
Yeah.
Obviously that didn't happen, thankfully. But so we're trying to figure out how we live with and work with this newfound ability to split atoms, to enrich uranium. And Portsmouth Gaseous Diffusion Plant is a sister plant to two other facilities, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which is Y12, and Paducah, which is Paducah Gaseous Diffusion Plant.
Okay.
Y12 came about during the Manhattan Project. It was the facility that enriched the uranium for whatever the bomb was. I think it was Little Boy or Fat Man or something. It was Little Boy because Fat Man was plutonium.
Okay.
That doesn't matter. That's just how I remember. I have a lot of facts.
The
in my head.
Manhattan Project. Now refresh my memory on that.
So the Manhattan Project was a top secret project during World War II that its origins are debatable because I found out that in the late 1930s, there was a letter written by Einstein after German physicists had discovered that you can split atoms.
Okay.
And it was a way to get, it was FDR at the time, to let the U.S. work on this as to get the bomb before the Nazis did.
Okay, gotcha.
But Einstein didn't write that letter. Someone else did, and they just had him sign his name. So that's just another interesting aside.
Interesting.
So the Manhattan Project comes about in order to beat the Nazis to the atomic weapon.
So basically, somebody that developed this decided that we want the Americans to have it, not the Nazis.
The idea was someone's gonna get it. It might as well be us.
I guess that goes to show you we're a little trustworthy.
So World War II ends, and the government, I keep saying the government, AEC, Atomic Energy Commission, is created as a private citizen, non-military control of the bombs and of energy.
Okay.
And they decide we're going to expand I call it the nuclear industrial complex. So it's like the plants, the energy, and so two sites. Oak Ridge is still in operation. It's being expanded. And then two more sites are chosen. They're chosen for their isolation, for their access to water, and their access to energy. Oh, and their access to a population of workforce.
Okay. And that was going to be one of my questions. Like, why were we chosen?
Yes, because we fit all four of those criteria.
Okay.
And is this one of the signs for it?
Yes, that is. So going forward a little bit, it was the company that was chosen to operate this plant was called Goodyear Atomic. It was a subsidiary of Goodyear, the tire company.
How does a tire company get into atomic?
You have a lot of money and you get bored.
Okay. Heard.
I'm gonna be honest. That's how they did it. They bid on it and they were like, you know what? Everyone else is doing atomic stuff. We might as well.
Okay. We'll build some tires and some atomic bombs. It's fine.
They built all of the compressors used in gaseous diffusion, and they were the best compressors.
Interesting.
They
Thanks,
were the
Dylan.
best. Yeah. So Goodyear operates this plant. Ground is broken in 52. It goes online, which is on stream is the term for gaseous diffusion is beginning. Goes on stream about 6 months ahead of schedule in 53. Took about a year to build all of this. And then work is completed in 54.
Okay.
This is a massive facility.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been down to, it's in Pike County. It's near Piketon, near Waverly. It's the giant. It's called the A plant. People know it as the A plant.
The A plant. Yeah. I've never been there. So
You should. It's fun. Well, I don't know if fun's the right word. It's interesting.
Interesting.
You can drive around Perimeter Road.
So you can kind of look from the outside in.
Yes.
Around the whole plant.
Yeah, you can drive around.
Okay.
And it's, I don't know how many acres. It was something like 4,000 acres.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And this is where it gets complicated. This is where it gets complicated. Like, it's not already complicated.
Right.
In order to build this facility, the government, the AEC, buys farms
Okay.
from people and forces them to sell through condemnations. That's a pretty tried and true way of making people sell in this era. And, they get really good prices for it. I talked to William Newsom yesterday, who was he's a high schooler when his parents sold the farm, and they got about 20-some thousand for their land for 100 acres.
Okay.
Which in that time was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then they used that money to go to Delaware County and buy a farm that was triple the size with a bigger house, and they made a lot of money and then moved back.
Cool.
So it's another impact. I forgot where I was. They build this giant plant. They operate it. They operate it enriching uranium from about the late 50s to, I think, the last compressor went off stream in early 90s.
Okay, so it was that long. Huh?
Yes.
I didn't realize it was. So, because I'm completely,
It was very secret.
yeah, I don't know, I guess, a lot about. So, uranium is what makes the atomic bomb? Or they need that to,
Yes. So
without getting into all the scientific nerdy stuff.
yeah, it gets really scientific here. But uranium, uranium that occurs naturally is not radioactive. It's just a rock. It's just a rock.
Okay.
So there could be uranium outside and I could pick it up and I would be fine. And you would be fine too. So don't be afraid of uranium.
This is like some serious Superman stuff.
I'm trying so hard. Because this is my personal thesis. There was such an air of, you were afraid.
Yeah.
Because it's the Cold War. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone's
for sure.
afraid. And nuclear stuff was new and it was scary, but now that we sort of understand it, it's less scary. So we need to work to understand it.
Right.
So it becomes even less scary.
Okay.
So back to uranium. Uranium naturally occurs in I'm going to get these numbers wrong. 235 is the isotope of uranium. And through gaseous diffusion, it separates. I'm going to get these numbers wrong, and my dad's going to text me.
Just let her alone.
I am not a scientist. I am a historian. I don't know these numbers. Through gaseous diffusion, it is separated into its lighter, more radioactive isotope 233, and its heavier, less radioactive stuff, isotope 238.
Okay.
And the 233 is 0.1% of all naturally occurring uranium.
Oh.
So it's a tiny amount.
Yeah.
So they have to enrich a bunch of uranium to make bombs. But yes, how atomic bombs work is they create lasting reactions. They're a chain reaction. One goes off, and then it makes another one go off, and makes another one go off.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
That's what makes them so devastating, is because it's
see.
a bunch of explosions in one.
Okay, that's why such a big
Yes.
situation. Okay.
Yes. And so uranium is one of the elements that we discovered can do this.
Okay.
So.
Makes sense.
But the uranium that was enriched at ports at the very beginning was sent to make bombs, but for the most part, it was able to be enriched to such high of a quality of a percentage.
Okay.
I don't know the exact percent because that's classified. But that was used for reactors and for the nuclear navy. So a lot of the fuel that is used for like submarines and ships came from Portsmouth.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yes, we did have something to do with some bombs, but most of the time we were just creating energy and fueling ships.
Okay, that makes sense. So this was started in, what did we say, 36 or 7 or something like that? 32? 52. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Sorry. See, I don't know numbers either. And so went all the way through to like the 90s.
Yes.
So interesting. All right. So what what are some of the fun stories that you've heard? Or I don't know whether they're fun or not, but
I think they're fun.
You don't have to tell, all the specifics, but I'm very interested to get the perspective of people that were actually involved with the plant.
One of the main things, and I just started this, so there's like 2 stories, but one of the main things that I heard was just how well the people who worked there got along with each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was a giant family because my grandpa, Chuck Harley, and he's not watching, so I can tell this story, bought his farm from someone who worked at the plant. And the someone who worked at the plant built one of the barns with help from people at the plant. And it's called the Pumpkin Barn.
Okay.
Because he promised all his friends to pay them. And so they would work full days, and then they go and build the barn in the afternoons and on the weekends. And then they built the barn, and he goes, and the people who built it go, okay, we built this barn. Now you promised us to pay us. Where's our pay? And the guy points at the field behind him, which is full of pumpkins, and goes, you can have as many pumpkins as you want.
Oh, no.
And sell that and make money. Eventually he did pay them, but the fact that they were willing to come in on their off days,
sure,
and after like long days and on weekends and build this barn kind of speaks to how well people got along and how nice and supportive of an environment it was.
And it was kind of family-like. There's a picture from somewhere.
Yeah, that is, I don't know why I pointed there. That is part of the union. It was a unionized site, and you can see there's all different types of people, and they're all laughing and having a good time. And the caption, this is from the Port's Virtual Museum. The caption says, the union signing a contract with the Elks. I think they were at the Elks building signing a contract. I don't think they signed a contract with the Elks.
With the Elks.
But you can see that there's all different types of people, and they're all laughing and smiling and having a good time.
That's awesome. I know I could be wrong on this, and I apologize if I'm telling this completely wrong, but I remember growing up and one of my friends' dads worked somewhere down there, and they used to carpool, which I always thought was so cool.
Yeah, my grandpa still, when he retired, so he retired twice. He got bored and then went back once. So he retired in the late 90s for the first time. And up until then, he was still carpooling, and he was like upper management. Neat. He had a little, when they got cell phones, they had a little text group. They would say, okay, who's driving? And it was so cute. And they would all drive to the guy's house, park, and then get in the car and drive.
I mean, hello, such a good idea.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not, it wasn't based on like necessity, because like there were enough parking lots. Parking lots are huge there. There wasn't the roads were big enough, so it wasn't like traffic. It was just like, you know what? Why take 4 cars when you can take 1 and be with people?
And it's like a social thing and a convenience thing.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because can remember like my friend, she would get the car when when dad wasn't driving
when
it.
it wasn't his turn to carpool.
Yeah, exactly. So very, very fun. Okay, so that's story, the pumpkin barn.
Yes. And then I just talked with Bob Irvin yesterday, and he was a sophomore in high school when this plant came into town. And he told the story of how when there was a large influx of professionals children, like engineers, architects, people who came from the coast.
You have to assume that with building a plant of this stature, yes, people would be brought into the community.
Yes. There was like an influx of something like 2,000 people, seemingly overnight.
Which in today's world doesn't seem like a lot, but especially back then would be an enormous amount of people.
It was like the town grew by like 150%.
Yeah.
Or towns like Waverly, Piketon, they grew by 150%.
Sure.
Overnight, seemingly. And Bob Irvin told the story of how these professionals' children's came from the coasts, they came from east and west, and they moved into Jackson and forced the Jackson City schools to get better.
Because they were so far advanced.
They were smart.
Yeah.
Bob Irvin says, they were smarter than us, but they forced us to get better too.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
and if you think about, so obviously these people had to live somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you think about the economic impact of that, which is, I know, part of your thesis.
Yes.
But you talk about like in Jackson, the Heights.
The Heights, yes.
The Heights was developed because of Goodyear and the A plant, and also, of course, the Goodyear tire plant.
Which turns out, I have to make sure this is true, but my grandpa told me the story of how Adena, the hospital in Chillicothe,
yes,
and the Goodyear plant in Jackson, the Jackson Goodyear plant, were both brought in by people who worked at the A plant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His boss advocated for a hospital in Chillicothe that became Adena.
Cool.
And the Goodyear plant was brought about, the Jackson Goodyear plant was brought about when one of the Goodyear executives came down to visit the Piketon plant and said, this is a good place. People work hard here.
Sure.
We can build something here and make money.
Wait, so the tire plant came after the A plant?
A plant was there first.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay, so you learn something new every day. But yeah, so you think about the influx of housing and again the economic impact, like that's insane. And not Jackson, but like the whole surrounding area.
Something like 4 counties.
Yeah.
It's like Scioto, Ross, Jackson, Pike.
I mean, the closest thing that I think in our lifetime we'll see close by will be this Intel plant that's happening, in the Columbus area, well, the outskirts of the Columbus area. I think that's Licking County. And, when it's bringing in bazillions of jobs and again, housing and the economic impact is crazy.
Yes.
So, yeah, very cool. So, what do you need from our viewers?
I need stories.
Yeah.
I need people to talk to me. I need people to tell me what it was like, because obviously I wasn't around. So I need people to tell me their experiences, and I don't care how small you think your experience is. I want everyone to hear this. Your experience matters to me, and I want to hear it. It doesn't matter if you were 6. It doesn't matter if you were 36. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to tell the best story possible.
Well, and you want to be accurate, and you can't, every story that you hear is going to make it more accurate.
Yes.
So now how do people get a hold of you, Miriam?
So you can either call me. My phone number is 740-688-8255. 9948. Or you can contact me on my email. It is miriamharley@gmail.com. Very simple. And it's
not hard to figure out.
I made a post on my Facebook. It's also under my name, Miriam Harley. And that has my phone number and email on it.
Okay.
And more information if you're curious.
No, I think that is super cool. And this is going to be, can't wait till you get done with all of this to find out some of the things that you've heard, because there are many, many stories to tell. Do you know about how many people were employed there through the years?
Something like 20,000.
Okay. So like a ton of people.
Yes, throughout the years.
Yeah.
In total. And they were everything from engineers with PhDs to people who were construction workers.
Okay. So the whole gambit of people.
Unionized, ununionized, laborers, eggheads, everything.
Gotcha. Super crazy. So now, what do you know about what has happened at the plant since it kind of stopped doing what it was doing? She could tell you, but she'd have to kill you.
No, I know a little bit, and what I do know is influenced by the fact that my dad was working there at the time.
Yeah.
So I know that the government is working very hard to reintegrate and reindustrialize that area.
Okay.
And bring in other industries. It's not just going to be an empty field, because I know there's a proposed hydrogen plant coming in there to make fuel for cars, for batteries, for other things like that.
Okay. And are you, as part of your study, going to be the health impact of the atomic plant?
I'm going to try my hardest. I'm not trained in that.
Sure.
I don't have any background in epidemiological studies. I don't have any background in biology at all. But I am going to be able to look at the studies that have been done both by the government and by local contractors or people that have been brought in to do these studies.
Well, I feel like it would be a fair question for everyone that you sit down to talk to, because there's a lot of talking out there about cancer rates being high in our area because of the A plant and different health problems due to the A plant. I don't know that anyone has proven one way or the other that is what it is, but it would be interesting when you do sit down to talk with people of maybe just ask that question.
Yeah. And even if there has been studies done, that doesn't change what people feel.
Yeah.
That doesn't change that, people feel like there's been a disastrous health impact by this facility. True or not, that's not up for me to decide.
Right.
I'm just here to listen to people's stories.
Yeah, and I think that's super cool. But it would be interesting if if 90% of the people that you sat down and talked with said, "Oh yes, I have had cancer," or had this health problem or whatever, and you're going to be like, maybe as a sidebar, be like, "Whoa,
yeah," and
there's something to it,
yeah,
or maybe there's not.
Who knows? But I've been scheduling interviews for about a week now. And the people I've been scheduling with have said, I have these health problems. I have these things. Whether or not that's caused by the radiation or it's caused by the other industrial things that came about by that plant. Like, in order to do gaseous diffusion, you have to, without getting into the specifics because it doesn't matter, you have to mix uranium with fluoride.
Okay.
Fluoride is a very nasty gas.
But it makes our teeth so good.
Or wait, no, fluorine. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, wait, fluoride's good for our teeth.
No,
Fluorine.
fluorine.
Okay.
Fluorine is very bad.
Fluorine is bad. Don't put that on your teeth.
No, because if fluorine, when exposed to, when you breathe in fluorine gas, it mixes with the moisture in your lungs and creates fluoric acid that eats your lungs from the inside out.
That sounds really bad.
Yes. So there are hazards like that. There was fluorine and beryllium and other elements. My chemistry teacher would be so upset. Sorry, Mr. Bowman. But there were other elements there and other industrial hazards that no doubt could cause these health problems.
Sure, absolutely. Like any bit of it on its own could cause health problems.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So, and we are an industrial area.
Yes.
Because we have like the history of iron, we have steel, we have Marilat, we have all of those facilities.
Yeah. Now we make food.
We do make food. I hope those chemicals aren't there in the food plant.
I think hopefully not.
But what I'm looking to see is, and this is not related to what I'm doing this summer, but when I'm going to be analyzing what I have gained, I'm going to be looking to see, like, are these dangers anymore because of the A plants, or are these just dangers that are associated with working in industry?
And that's a fair assessment as well, just to see if that's common throughout different manufacturing
industries.
plants. Yeah,
but
for sure.
That doesn't change that I still want to hear people's stories. Please talk to me.
Please talk to this young lady. I mean, okay, so you're talking about over time, 20-some thousand people working at this plant who all have family and friends and whatever. So, I mean, this is exponential. Like, there's a million people out there that you could be talking to. So, and so now they are down. I think there's a company down there kind of, what's the word? What are they? Cleaning up is not the right word.
They call it D&D.
Okay.
Nobody knows what the D stand for, because it could stand for any number of
Probably don't want to know.
The widely accepted is decommissioning and decontamination.
Okay.
But could also mean like another thing. I don't remember the other D. But they are there to kind of clean up as best possible this large swath of land and
to make it marketable for something else,
yeah,
right?
It's gonna be. I am not a spokesperson of this company. Please don't take my words for their stuff.
No, yeah.
But from what I understand, they're looking to turn it into like an industrial park.
Okay.
Bring other industries in there, keep the legacy of industrial prosperity on this large. It's not going to be returned into farmland.
Right. Like we have 4,000 acres that somebody can utilize for industry.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's access to water and power and a workforce. And everything that made the A plant prosperous is still here.
Correct. So all of that still exists. Very cool. All right. All right. So once again, can you tell everybody how to get a hold of you?
Yes. So my phone number is 740-688-9948. And my email is Miriam, Miriam, Harley, Harley, @gmail.com.
There you go. Or you can find her on Facebook.
Yes.
Or any of the social medias there that you can find Miriam on. Yes. Okay, well, very good. So you have until March to have this done. But you need people to talk to you now.
Yes, I'm looking to get most of these interviews done by the end of July, because I do go to school in Ohio, but I want to be able to have enough time with people and really not be rushing them and driving back and forth between Worcester. I will do that if you're not in town in the summer, if you vacation somewhere else. But I'd rather be able to spend the time needed with you and really understand your story. So I would hopefully want to get these done by the end of July.
Okay, so reach out to Miriam like now
Yes.
and get your interview kind of scheduled. And
I'm
again,
not
it's
doing
just
anything else.
right.
Talk to me.
It's just but it's just a sit down chat thing. It's not anything official, and
It's
like
going to
you
take
said,
an hour.
Okay.
An hour max. The audio recording, you can ask me not to record it. I have a consent form that you can sign, and you can withdraw your consent at any time. I'm doing this all by the book, people. Talk to me.
Just talk to this young lady. Look at her. She's so cute. And she makes sushi.
I do. I might make you sushi.
I was going to say, okay, here's a bargaining tip. If you like sushi, call up Mariam and say, fine, I'll talk to you.
But
How many California rolls you going to make me?
Yeah. Hey, I'll do it.
She'll do it. Look at her. She's going to do that. So, okay, well, cool. So what does the future hold for you after this year? Do you know what are you looking to do when you grow up?
Oh, goodness. So currently the plan is to go to law school because I'm a history major and I don't like children. So I can't be a teacher. I don't nothing wrong with them. They're just not my cup of tea.
So you don't want to teach?
No, I don't want to teach.
Because a lot of history majors would go into teaching, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I had great history teachers who I would love to be like them, but
minus the kid thing.
yeah, I did a semester as an education major and did placement in an elementary school, and I will never be going back. So currently law school. And I'm looking to go into national security law and work with the government to figure out the lasting legacy of the nuclear question.
Okay, so this, that will continue on then.
Yep.
So this is part of your future.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Yep. It's kind of hard not to be.
Right? Yeah, love that. Okay, well, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, Dylan, do we have that message from our friends at Vinton County Bank?
Yep.
And then we'll be back to say goodbye to Miriam. How's that? So we'll be back in just a second.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and welcome back. And if you have just joined us, we are here with our good friend Miriam Harley, and she is talking about doing her thesis here in the area. And she is looking for folks to talk to her, whether you worked at the Gaseous Diffusion Plant, I think that's the official name, the A plant, or you had family members or friends. If you have any stories, this is what her thesis is going to be on. She would love to talk to you. So please reach out to this young lady or just get a hold of us and we'll get a hold of you as well. But we have something fun to give away.
Amazing.
So we have two-day passes to the Black Diamond Music and Arts Festival featuring, who did you say you liked?
Josh Turner.
That's
and
right.
Ashley McBride.
Yes.
Look at
good
me.
job. And that is, of course, this coming weekend, starting tomorrow night. Josh Turner, the featured artist there, along with a whole bunch of other people throughout the day, starting at 5. And then Saturday, music starts at 1 and goes all the way through 9:30, ending up with Ashley McBride. Our good friends and local folks, Andy Milliken, Ben Davis Jr., Jake Dunn, Joey Crabtree, and some other folks will be playing there as well on Saturday. So what a great day.
Awesome.
So we're going to give away two-day passes today. And today's 2-day passes, and either reach out to us or hopefully James will try to get a hold of you, goes to Brandy What do you think?
Searless?
Searless?
Searles?
Searles? I don't know. Searles. Brandy, you win.
Woo.
Congratulations, Brandy. And we will, if we just need your email, then James can hook you up, and then you'll pick up the passes there, I assume, right, James?
Yeah, it'll come. The passes will come in your email.
They'll come in your email. Okay, so they'll be emailed to you. So very, very good. And so that is a great thing to have happen. All right, Miriam. So while you're here, so, college student, the town of Wooster, they have a really good brewery there.
They do.
Yes.
I'm 21. I can say that.
You could say it even if you weren't here. It's a safe zone.
My mom's watching.
So the funny part is the brewery in Worcester is called JAFB.
Yes, I'm not going to say what it stands for because that breaks some rules. I know the FCC rules.
Yes. I can't believe they did it, but it is fantastic. They brew wonderful beer, very national award winning stuff. So that's pretty cool. But what's the town of, it's just a something brewery.
Yep, it is.
And you can imagine what the F stands for. I may as well just throw it out there. Fabulous brewery.
Yes.
That's like when you see FAF places. You hear people talking about beer. It's FAF. It's fresh as fabulous. Yeah. Anywho.
Do they have a hotel?
No.
No, they do not have a hotel attached to them. James's mind is just blown by this whole Brewdog Hotel situation. He's like, wait, you're going where?
I love that.
Yeah, so cool. But no, tell us a little bit about Worcester.
Just the town,
just
the
town,
city.
and its own.
So
it's up above Columbus, right?
It is. It's
a ways.
About an hour and a half northeast of Columbus.
Yeah, so it's a ways from here.
Yeah, it's about a 4-hour drive, three and a half hours from Jackson. So it's close enough.
Yeah,
I like it.
Not bad.
It's a little bit bigger than Jackson.
Okay.
About in between Jackson and Chillicothe size.
Okay.
We have 3 Mexican restaurants.
Nice.
I know.
In a college town, no way.
I know. 2 colleges.
2
OSU
colleges.
ATI is there too.
Oh, nice.
Which is Ohio State Agricultural Technical Institute.
Nice.
They don't really interact with us.
Oh.
We're 2 different breeds.
Gotcha.
So there's ATI and then the College of Wooster. The College of Wooster is about 2,000 students. ATI is about the same size.
Okay.
So they're both pretty small colleges.
It's like College Wars.
I know.
2023.
We just got a Myers.
Sweet. Well,
I know.
The world is complete now.
I'm on those Facebook groups to see what's going on in Worcester because I like to know what's going on, and also I work with the community, so I should probably know what's going on. And it was a huge thing when the Myers was announced. It was, and then every single day it was, when is the Myers opening? When is the Myers opening?
So it's now open.
It is open.
So your life is good.
I know. We can buy. The only time I've ever been to a Myers, I was in Chicago with my family, and we were at a music festival, and it rained, and we needed boots.
Okay.
And that was the only time I've been to a Myers.
I'm trying to think of Myers. I get that and Target confused, I guess. But
I think
what is a Myers? Is it more grocery oriented or is it more?
I don't know.
Okay.
Owned by Kroger.
It is?
It's owned by Kroger.
Okay.
So this is kind of random, but I just texted my mom because I was always told my grandpa worked at Goodyear.
Yeah.
And it turns out he worked at the A plant.
Oh.
Can I talk? Is he?
He's no longer around.
Oh.
Can I talk to your mom?
My grandma, maybe.
Your grandma?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Look at me.
See,
making
boom,
connections.
right here.
It's that easy. I'm friendly. Talk to me.
There you go. You hook them up, Dylan.
Thank you.
Okay. Very, very good. All right. No, I was just curious as to the town of Worcester, what it's like for a college student to be there. And
it's nice. The downtown is within a walkable distance of the campus. The people are pretty friendly.
Cool.
I mean, there's always going to be people who don't like college students, but whatever.
Right.
You get used to it.
Sure.
I like the college. People are nice.
Good.
It's been a good time.
There you go. So what we need is for you to reach out to our good friend Miriam and help her out with her thesis. She needs it. Once again, phone number
740-688-9948.
That's right. Or reach out to her, Miriam Harley at gmail.com or on Facebook, Miriam Harley.
Yes. I'm
And-
available on all of those.
Yes, all of those. And she just needs to talk to you. And that's it. And again, this isn't some government conspiracy, anything like this. Is a college student writing a paper.
Government conspiracy would say.
Right? It isn't a government conspiracy, we promise.
It's just me. I'm pretty chill.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. So, all right. Well, very good. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for spending your morning with us.
Thank
and
you for having me.
best of luck with your paper.
Thank you.
Yes, because this is, this can make or break this girl with her college career. So
I have to do it to graduate.
help her out in any way you can. So, all right. Well, you will be without Jen tomorrow, but I believe that there will be some news.
Will be.
James says yes. So
They're
will
gonna make some news for you.
Yeah, you'll be in good hands, and I will see you right back here on Monday. News tomorrow here on the program. So thanks for watching. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegramnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegramnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegramnews.com.
Check it out.